Hey guys, today we're going to be playing Altered Beast on the Sega Genesis. Rise from your grave. Good to see you guys. Welcome once again to another stream. This is Altered Beast on the Sega Genesis. Now this has come out in many systems, guys, from Commodore 64, Amiga. There's an arcade version as well, Sega Master System, but today we're going to be talking about the Sega Genesis version today. And honestly, in my opinion, even though this was never a great game, my favourite version of this to play as far as smoothness and gameplay goes is definitely the Sega Genesis version. Anyway, you play this Arnold Schwarzenegger looking sunbish here. He's been risen from his grave, from Zeus for some reason. Zeus decided one day in order to rescue his daughter, the best way to do it is to raise some zombie man from the grave. And yeah, so here we are. We've been risen from the dead. And alright, you can see we teleported to all these monsters. So over the course of the game, there's like 5 levels, very short game. We teleport into things like wolves and tigers and even dragons. It's pretty crazy. You can see there's that Quan Chi / Uncle Fester looking sunbish there, who's like the main villain of the game. He's the one that's kidnapped Zeus's daughter. And at the end of every level, he'll either, I don't know if he's disappearing or he's actually transforming into these things, but yeah, he'll always disappear, aka transform into one of these really grotesque bosses, and they all have different patterns and are actually quite challenging to beat, actually. And you can only, I guess, face a boss once you've teleported into this full form, or into the beast form, I should say. I'll go into that more in a little second, but we're just going to get the round 1 boss done here. All done, sweet. It's funny how these old school video games, by the way, seemed so much longer when we were young, because they were so hard and you'd always get stuck. But when you actually know what you're doing and you go from point A to B, actually very deceptively short, these games, and this is no exception. If you can beat this, you can beat this without any mistakes in about 10 minutes. But it's a fun time, multiple difficulty levels, and at least you can go back and beat your old high scores, which was the fun part of these retro games anyway. But as you can see, we got these 3-headed dogs here. They look like pigs, but they're actually dogs. And what you need to do is you need to attack the blue ones, because they drop these orbs. And yeah, you get 3 orbs in order to turn into one of those beast-like monsters. Now, in order to encounter the stage boss, you need to make sure you transform into the beast. If you don't transform into the beast, the level keeps looping until you have. So it's really important to tackle all those blue dogs, or blue triple head dogs, the Cerebuses, as quick as possible. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the levels for longer, and you can see just like that, we're going to have a really, really bad time. I never, unfortunately, actually owned Altered Beast growing up, at least not in my early childhood. I sometimes would play the arcade version of this, never last very long. But even though I played this a little bit later in my life for the first time, at least the Sega Genesis version, I always had an appreciation for it. I guess I kind of look at this game as sort of being a tech demo for the Sega Genesis, pretty much the first game that came out in the console. And even though it's not that special by today's standards, graphically and mechanically, it's kind of a step up from what people expected from their 8-bit games. And it really was a nice showcase of what a 16-bit console could do. Or what Sega's 16-bit console could do anyway. Oh gosh, look at these things. I call them boner ants. There should be no explanation needed for why I call them boner ants. They've been on like, 1,000 milligrams of the old Viagra. Anyway, we're going to go back this way. This is probably my least favorite level. I do feel like this game is a little bit cheap with the collision detection. Feels like the enemies always have a lot more reach. One thing that bothers me about this game is this is also one of those annoying retro games, you could say, that doesn't have invincibility boxes. So once you get hit, you can keep getting hit. And that actually becomes incredibly annoying, because before you know it, you'll instantly lose a life, which is a little bit unfair. We got really lucky here, guys. Straight away, we've teleported into the boss. I usually have to loop this level at least once, so we got incredibly lucky here. Here's this Uncle Fester Quan Chi looking sunbish again. As I said, only 5 levels. This is already the end of number 3, so you can see what I mean when I say this is a very, very short game. The first time I ever played Altered Beast was also the Sega Master System version. Now, I don't want to talk about that version too much, but I will say stay away from it. I think I kind of had a small appreciation for it as a kid, because when you're young, your imagination can fill in the blanks graphics and presentation-wise, but going back and trying the Master System version now, it just doesn't even feel like the same game. Alright, let's go to level 4. I don't know what he's laughing for. Big nose sunbish. There's also codes in this. A lot of people on the standard settings of this Sega Genesis game found it very hard to beat, but with a few quick commands on the main menu, if you hold the B button and then press start, you can also adjust the difficulty level, how much health you have, how many lives you have. We're playing this on the normal difficulty today, but with extra health and lives, just to keep this as a smooth experience. I think I've probably beaten this a total of once or twice on the standard settings. Yeah, it's not going to happen every single day. This is an incredibly difficult game. Unfortunately, this is also one of those games every now and then you feel like you're fighting the mechanics more than the actual clever game design itself. But as I said, despite all its flaws, nostalgia's a hell of a drug. And these full motion cutscenes where you're constantly teleporting into different beasts is basically what sold this game. Unlike anything anyone had ever seen before at this point, at least unless they owned a PC. So, yes, this will certainly go down the annals of history as being one of Sega's most iconic games, even if it's not deservedly so. Funny, when I live stream this game as well, it also gets incredible views. It's just something about this, eh? It's amazing what people connect with sometimes, guys. It can't always be explained. Alright, Uncle Fester's disappearing one more time. This boss is very challenging. It's actually, I think the biggest issue with this boss is it's more of a patience game. Most of the bosses can be beaten very quick. You kind of have to rotate the pattern here. You have to do the zigzag only to get rid of those dragons, and then you need to try and prioritize the shooting on this little beast thing. I don't even know what you call it. It looks like a pregnant dragon, doesn't it? I guess it is a pregnant dragon. If little dragon, baby dragons are coming out of its belly, I guess that's what this is. It's like a pregnant dragon boss. I tell you what, that's really freaking disturbing, isn't it? But we're fighting a pregnant mama dragon right now. Oh, this game is all sorts of dark. Hopefully we'll have enough lives left to beat this final level. There we go. Alright, we're up to the last level now, guys. There we go, we fold his plans. You know, we fold that little Quan Chi, Uncle Fester looking guy's plans 4 times, and he's, he sounds very sure of himself as someone that's lost 4 times in a row. I guess some people are delusional on this planet. Alright, so let's see if we can get this blue Cerebus here. There we go, that's the first orb. This last level here, guys, is very, very cheap, and this is certainly one level you don't want to loop. That's for sure. Alright, I might just go back down here. Now, I can't remember which way the doggies are coming from this time. Alright, where are they? Oh, there it is. Alright. Hey, we're off to a good start here, guys. We might actually get this the first try. I was worried I might have to do multiple edits on this video, but oh gosh, we are gonna have to do one more loop. Well, you know what? I got a little bit cocky there. Every time I start bragging about how good I am at games, that's when I fuck up. Alright. Well, we shouldn't cop too much damage at least now, because we're in our largest form before the beast, so that's alright. Let's just quickly get this last orb. There it is. Alright, we're in beast form now. It should be a walk in the park until we get to the final boss. Let's see how we go. These projectiles should at least do a good job of keeping everything at a distance. There we go. You eat my fireballs. You'll have to let me know in the comments, and also let me know what your favorite beast form is too, guys. As I mentioned before, this was the game that got bundled very early with the Sega Genesis, whether it was, I think, late 88, early 1989, and then eventually the Sega would get bundled with other games in their future, like the iconic Sonic. I think in Australia at one point, Sonic 2, Aladdin, even Eternal Champions, I think, for a small amount of time had a bundle in Australia as well. So the Sega Genesis got bundled with a lot of games, but this was the first one. I think in Australia, $2.99. Sega Genesis and this game together. That's like $1 million today back in the 80s. Alright, let's see how we go here against the final boss. Hopefully alright. There you go, he's trying to donkey punch me. Oh gosh. Oh, that's not good. There you go, and the lives are falling. Oh, we should be able to get him, actually. I can tell he's almost beat. I wonder if it's always registering a hit. I'm doing pretty well with the fireballs, but it seems like that zip's going right through him. Well, anyway, guys, that's the end of the game. Let's have a quick look at the little cutscene. That's a little blue dove. I don't know what that signifies. Well, what's the blue dove gonna do? Oh, that just teleported into Zeus's daughter, who's apparently my love interest. I don't know how Zeus is gonna feel about some zombie man shacking up with his daughter. Thank you for watching our Altered Beast video. That was an awesome trip down memory lane. If you'd like to see any other playthroughs, guys, please let your opinions be known in the comments. We will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.